Hi everyone, welcome back to the Aspen Club. My name's Eddie Harold and I'm honored to be with you here today to talk a little bit about breathing and how important it is in regard to your overall state of mental and physical well-being. Today I'm here to talk to you about the inhale. And the inhale is one of the most undervalued tools in regard to being proactive, in regard to keeping your mind clear, keeping your belly free of inflammation, and keeping your heart rate and blood pressure as low as possible during stressful times and the challenges that we're all going through in life. So if we go back to when we were a baby, when we were first born, we're all designed to be nasal breathers. Every animal on earth breathes through its nose this entire time unless it's hunting or being hunted. Somewhere in our younger years, between the ages of 8 and 15, we leave the nasal breathing and we start to shift into mouth breathing tendencies. And these mouth breathing tendencies, while they make us feel good initially, in the long haul, they're debilitating to the health of our body, the health of our mind, and the health of ourselves. So today I'd like to talk to you about the inhale. Now, moving the inhale downward, we want you to breathe through the nose. And as we breathe through the nose, here's a little script of what's happening. We're taking the air up through the nasal channels, up into the sinuses, into the respiratory glands of the brain, and the air moves down into the lower lobes of the lungs. The diaphragm muscle, the primary muscle of inhale, gently comes down onto your gastrointestinal organs and gives you a wonderful massage. And as the diaphragm muscle presses downward in its ability to help us digest, the rib cage begins to expand. And as the rib cage expands, we can expand the lungs to their full 5-quart capacity on the inhale, giving us vitality and energy throughout the day and a restful sleep at night. As the ribs expand, the intercostal muscles between the ribs contract, working in concert with the diaphragm, and the ribs expand. Now remember, the lungs are passive, the lungs aren't muscle. So the lungs can only expand as much as the diaphragm and the intercostals are strong and your rib cage elastic. So breathing through the nostrils, the diaphragm moves down and we have great support in our low back. And this good posture in the low back allows us to stabilize our hips, stabilize our lower body mechanics so that we're more grounded and rooted as we move our body through the rigors of our day, whether it's in athletics and taking care of ourselves, fitness, wellness, or even in the workplace. So on the inhale, visualize downward energy as the diaphragm's moving down. The oxygen, the nitrogen, the helium, the carbon, it's all moving down onto your gastrointestinal tract, and it creates great posture in your low back. And that great posture in your low back, the mind sees that, and it allows us better mental posturing, where in the past we might have shut down or we became emotional and we used a lot more energy than we needed to correct a conflict or correct a relationship that wasn't the healthiest. So slowing down the inhale, even right now, feeling that downward flow of energy and that wonderful massage you're getting in your belly. And as the diaphragm comes down, you get a great massage on your liver, gallbladder, and on your stomach, spleen. And when we combine all these organs, there's a nervous system there called your enteric nervous system. And every time we breathe through the nose, the enteric nervous system gets a massage. And 95% of the serotonin hormone is secreted from the diaphragm moving down into this enteric system. And when the serotonin is secreted, the heart rate and blood pressure are stable. Digestion, elimination, assimilation is amplified. And it's really easy to get from point A to point B in the thinking process, in the conceptualizations of what we're trying to achieve, as we're all high performers. We're all result-oriented people. And stabilizing that inhale stabilizes the mind. It stabilizes you. And then as it stabilizes the mind, there's a greater stability in the lower body, and you're more grounded in your body as you move through your day, moment by moment by moment. And you'll use less energy as you go through the day, and you'll work harder, not smarter. You'll be calmer rather than tense, and you'll be prepared for excellence just about at any moment during your day. So let's begin a little experience of moving the diaphragm. If you wish, let your eyes close and bring your hands onto your belly. And as you inhale through your nose, allow the belly to swell out into your fingertips as if you were doing a reverse sit-up. The organs are moving away from their normal attachments. And then when the belly can't swell any further, you'll feel the breath come up into the lower ribs and the lower chest area. And you'll notice that will expand east and west. And as you complete the inhale and the air moves into the top of the lungs, you'll feel the upper rib line lift towards your collarbone. That is a whole breath. That is a complete breath. And when you have a whole, complete breath through your nostrils, chances are you'll have whole, complete messages as you communicate with yourself and as you communicate with others as you move through your day. So let's practice this. Let your eyes close, and let's focus on the muscles of inhale. Taking the breath through the nostrils, follow the energy up into the brain and then down through the trachea, the windpipe. And you can begin to feel the lungs starting to fill as the diaphragm presses down onto your organs of the abdomen. As the belly swells, you'll begin to lift the breath up towards the collarbone, and it's much like you're filling a vase with water. And you want to imagine this filling the lower lobes of the lungs first and the upper lobes of the lungs second. This will trigger a relaxation response in the brain and the body, and you'll be calmer. Continue to practice this. Breathing slowly, let the belly swell. Breathing slowly, begin to let the breath evolve. As the rib cage expands, you'll reach a point where you can't inhale any further. There'll be a slight lift of the upper shoulders, and that's a complete inhale. Let the exhale be whatever it has to be, but usually slower is better. If you'd like to challenge yourself, slow the breath down and try to inhale 5 or 10% longer than you did the last couple rounds. And begin to notice how that makes you feel. Slow down. Feel the breath moving in and out. And try to relax your muscles, your fascia, the skin. Good. Slow your breath down and let emotions and feelings flow freely without being censored by the ego. Know that you're always doing your best. And then slow the inhale down even more and notice the quality of the mind, the quality of your mental activity. Beautiful work, everyone. I invite you to continue to work on this inhale process every spare moment you have in your life until it becomes unconscious that you're always taking the longest inhale as possible, moving the diaphragmatic breath up and down and up the spine. I also invite you to allow your fingertips to rest on your belly when you're falling asleep at night. And practice this for 2 weeks or so. And as you fall asleep at night, it's easier for the brain to introduce new material to your conscious mind during the day when you're practicing something as you go from conscious to unconscious. So learning this diaphragmatic breath, or relearning this breath, will happen very quickly for you if you do it when you're falling asleep at night with your hands on your belly. Boy, I'm really glad to be with you today, and you're going to get so much out of this nasal inhale. Use it all the time. Use it at work, use it at home, use it in your self-care routines, your training routines, and you'll get a lot more out of less. My name's Eddie Harold. I'm here at the Aspen Club. I can't wait to see you again. Have a great day. Go be great. My name's Eddie Harold, and I'm a performance enhancement coach at the club, and I'm grateful to be with you here today to talk to you a little bit about the process of exhale. Exhale is half of the breathing process, and exhale is one of the most undervalued tools in regard to releasing tension in the chest and the belly, tension in the mind, and our ability to relax, where in the past we might have been tense, or we might have been aggressive or defensive, or it just didn't seem really a smooth effort on your part. When you're thinking about exhale, I'd like you to always practice to try to exhale through your nostrils. When we exhale through the mouth, it's a wonderful cooling exhale, but the breath comes out so fast, there isn't a complete exchange of air taking place in the lungs. And as the air comes out of the mouth quickly, it agitates the mind because it's a rushed release. And the mind is a little more defensive on the next inhale in regard to your ability to think and reason and make really good choices for yourself. When you're exhaling through your nostrils, it takes a little longer for that to take place. There's a little more warmth as the air comes out through the nostrils. And the carbon dioxide stays in the body a little bit longer. And over a period of time, as you exhale slower through your nose, many, many good things will happen to you, which will stall the cellular aging process. It'll keep you more relaxed in your neurobiology and how you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself. And there's no doubt your best days will be in front of you when you can relax and move through life without the normal stresses and strains. And you won't just survive, you'll thrive. So let's talk a little bit about this nasal exhale. The muscles of exhale predominantly are your abdominal muscles, the muscles you would use in the gym in a crunch routine or some type of a sit-up program. Predominantly, it's the rectus abdominis muscles and your obliques. And as those muscles contract and pull back onto your gastrointestinal organs, the waste that's in the lungs will be sent up through the trachea, out through the sinuses, and comes out through the bottom of the nasal channels on the upper lip. So practicing controlling the exhale with just a gentle squeeze of the abdominal muscles, you'll feel a slower exhale. And as you have a slower exhale, it alerts your brain that you feel safe in this environment. You're not hunting, nor are you being hunted. The thoughts that are going on and the feelings that are going on in your mind, as you exhale slower, you have the ability to wrestle with them rather than them wrestling with you. So exhaling slower triggers a major relaxation response. And there's a stalling of aging in the body-mind. And there's a greater sense of clarity of what might occur on the next inhale. Nothing is rushed. So exhaling slower through your nose, feel even right now, as you exhale, these muscles, feel the muscles of exhale coming back, giving you a gentle abdominal massage and a gentle massage of your gastrointestinal organs. And as you feel the abdominal muscles pull back, you want to still maintain proper posture and erect spine in the low back as these muscles are pulling back. As we're exhaling slower, a couple things happen that I'd like to share with you. Number one, your brain at that point, when it sees the exhale is longer than the inhale, it'll alert the body to metabolize your fat stores rather than your precious glycogen and sugar stores. And why is that important? We're all athletes. Life is an endurance event with sprints mixed in. Now, when you're exhaling longer through your nose than your inhale, the brain would obviously think, predominantly your hypothalamus, which is a part of the brain that evaluates whether you're safe or not, and your hippocampus above that, which is basically your limbic system, your emotional content, your fat stores. As these fat stores are metabolized on the exhale, you have the greatest ability to transcend your past, because fat cells are imbued with emotional molecules, everything that we've done in our life, everything we've experienced prior to that. And when we're in transformational programming, when we're trying to find personal growth, you don't want to burn your precious glycogen and sugar and drain your immune system with a high heart rate. You'd like to have the lowest heart rate as possible as you're incinerating inflammation that's stored in our fat metabolism. When you got up this morning, you had 30 days of fat metabolism that your brain can tap into as long as your exhale is shorter than your inhale. You have 30 to 60 minutes of glycogen and sugar stores. And if you're breathing incorrectly or rapidly, or if you're breathing through your mouth, this will trigger a fear in the hypothalamus and the hippocampus, and you'll just burn sugar as the brain thinks you're not safe in this environment and you need to either escape or attack. And once that energy is done, you can't stabilize the thoughts during the day. It'll be the good day, bad day. There won't be any balance. When you're burning the endurance fuel of fat, it's a lot more balanced day. You don't get too low, you don't get too high. You begin to notice when you're out of balance and you use a longer exhale to pull you back so that you're grounded in your legs. Now, one of the major things about metabolizing fat is when you exhale longer, inside the carbon dioxide air, which is the primary product of the exhale, when you exhale longer, the brain begins to see that there's one great oxygen molecule in the carbon dioxide. And when the brain can extract that one oxygen molecule from the waste product of the carbon dioxide, it can add it to the 2 oxygen molecules you get on the next inhale, and you'll have a lot more vitality. You'll have a lot more mental clarity. You'll live more from your heart, and you'll feel a lot more centered and grounded as you move through the challenges of this day. So practicing this exhale, if you wish, sit up tall, relax your eyes back in the sockets, maybe closing your eyes, relax your low jaw and lips, inhale as slowly as you can, and then notice the muscles you're using to exhale. Predominantly, they're the muscles between your two front hip bones and your solar plexus. They're right here. And as these contract, you'll feel your rib cage recoil back from the inhale. The waste product comes up, comes out through the brain, and out through the nostrils. And take several rounds of trying to exhale 5 or 10% longer than you normally do. Now don't strain, just try to exhale a little bit longer with a slower pace. And watch if a relaxation response doesn't come up. If you get short of breath, that's fine. Just take a couple resting breaths and then practice again. Remember, you're learning a new technique, but the brain already remembers this from back when we were little boys and girls and children. So practice this longer exhale all the time through your nose in every routine you're doing. Try to do it in the gym. Try to do it in your cardio routines. Try to do it at work. Try to do it at home when you're in the car. And see if you start to have lower heart rates as you move through the day. See if there's a calmness to how you're choosing to show up in the moment. And see if you don't have a general overall sense of well-being and whole messages in your communication, which makes you feel a lot better about yourself as you move through your life. My name's Eddie Harold. It was great to be with you today. Practice that exhale. Go be great.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below. If you have any questions about breathing your way into healthy heart rates or in general, please leave a comment and we will do our absolute best to answer you. And if you want any more information about PT on the Net or Ed Harold, click on the links in the description. Subscribe to our channel. We upload a video every week.